Hi, so I've been cosplaying since 2013 and I have done 64 cosplays. I'm doing an entire series where I talk about each and every cosplay I've ever done, and here are my original 15. Yay! Today we're talking about cosplay number 7, which was Queen Vivaldi from Alice in the Country of Hearts. Now this cosplay I'm really excited to tell you guys more about. So this cosplay was the second ever independent sewing project that I did without my mom's help. I'm going to be honest, I have no idea how long this cosplay took me, but I know that one of the most time-consuming parts was these beautiful ribbons that you see all over the dress. They were hand-pleated and hand-dyed. I also explored a couple of new techniques when I made this cosplay. If you look at the crown, I made that out of Worbla. I'm not totally happy with how it looked like, but from a distance, I think it looked amazing. Another technique that I was playing with to get the structure in her coat was I got a piece of foam and cut it out and then just glued fabric on. If I were to do this now, I would probably sew the fabric and just glue it down to make sure it stays nice and flat. But at the time, I was like, it's pretty good. It ended up being hidden by the ribbon, or the seam ended up getting hidden by the ribbon, so it worked out. Next up were the hearts. Those were all hand painted. I think I had a stencil to kind of give me a shape and size, and I was using a measuring tape to make sure they're the perfect distance apart. But they were all hand painted with fabric paint, which I would probably do that again, but I did it in a rush. I think the paint was still wet when I wore the cosplay to the convention for the first time. And I made this cosplay because my friend was cosplaying as Alice, and she looks so adorable. I would have never discovered this series if it hadn't been for her, and it's one of the few mangas that I really like. To my knowledge, I don't think that there is a fully animated version of Alice in the Country of Hearts, but this is still one of my favorite cosplays, and surprisingly, a lot of people recognized it back in the day. This was an incredibly ambitious project, and I'm still, I look at that and go, wow, I made that when I was 15 years old. I remember the bodice piece, was made from a repurposed shirt that I got at a thrift store for like $2. I can make a separate video doing a cost breakdown of this cosplay, but this cosplay in 2015 cost me $78 to make. I got the red fabric on major discount at Joann's. I used a bunch of stuff. The ribbon was all things that I had around the house. I think the most expensive part for this was the wig. The shoes were something I already had. Worbla was something that I already had on hand. I had to buy gold spray paint, the dyes for the ribbons, and the fabric paints for the rest of the dress. And I think I also had to buy some of those red ribbons that you see variously all over the place. But overall, on a budget, this was an amazing piece. Okay, that's all, folks. Bye.